ladies, we're so...
All right. First off, I'd like to thank everybody for. Wait a minute. This isn't my podcast, is it?
No, this isn't yours. How's it?
This is the live Women of FWA. Veronica, take it away.
Hey guys, it is April 14th, and you guys are probably wondering why we let him on our channel.
I'm on this side.
Yeah, whatever side you're on. So we've actually got some really cool stuff that we're going to announce, not only for Women of FWA and some stuff that we have going on, but a whole new direction and some major announcements for FWA as a whole. I mean, we have a lot of stuff going on this year. And so I asked Brian to join with me on the live tonight to kind of go over that and make the announcement, because you're going to hear it here first. We did not let Brian let loose and go post it on all his other social media accounts. Susan and I had our hands, and Michaela just, we had him tied down and really just made sure that we kept this kind of under wraps and made it live here first. So one of the things we're going to do in a new direction, and something that we all feel so near and dear to our heart, is what, Brian?
Full throttle. What? I can't say it yet?
Not yet.
Small businesses.
Small businesses.
That's it. I mean, this whole thing was started because we're small businesses, and honestly, I want to almost say 100% of our industry is a small business. I mean, unless you're a one or two manufacturers that are out there globally or something, can you consider yourself a anything other than a small business? So I guess small businesses we hold dear to our heart.
Absolutely. And those of all sizes, and making sure things that are readily available and resources and networking. I mean, networking for women in the industry was why this whole page was created. This whole group of women that have managed to come out of everywhere, which is super weird. And I love it. That's why we're here. So we do have another person that's going to be behind stage. I think for just another second, you're going to bring him on.
We'll leave him back there.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be back there till we're ready.
We have in June the Women of FWA retreat coming up. And this is something that the entire leadership team has worked so hard on. And one of the things that we've really, really focused on is the education and keeping the retreat small.
Yep.
We could have easily opened this up and had, an ungodly amount of women attend this event, but we really wanted to keep it small and make sure that good quality education and content was going to be there. So, Brian, did you know that the ladies are going to install some fence?
Oh, I did not.
You didn't?
I did not.
Weird.
I did. I heard that you guys have Bailey's coming too, right? She's going to be installing fence.
Yep.
And you guys are taking that to the next level. I mean, this is not just a bunch of women getting together baking. I guess you guys are actually getting down and dirty, huh?
No, but there better be muffins when we all get home. You can do the baking at home. So the education is really on a wide variety of topics, from the digital marketing, digital day and age with social media, and the marketing is such a huge thing. Michaela's teaching a class on that. Susan's going to be teaching classes on sales relationships, getting to know your customers and gate operators, and Yadira is going to be on all different types of billing and lien waivers and how to protect your rights, which is important. And I've got job overflow, safety, the amount of education. So if you go to FWA, which is what we have pulled up on the screen right now, you can read all about this event, why it's so important, what you invest in your team when you send them to events like this, or you attend yourself. And this will really touch base on our foundation and what we're about. So it is very hands-on, very roundtable, all the questions you could possibly ask and scenarios to go through. And I'm sure quite a few nightmare stories are going to come up too, because that's just the nature of the beast.
Yep. And speaking of women of FWA, let's bring Brooks on here for a second. Brooks, what's going on, man?
What's up?
Yeah. No, it's the fence industry. It has nothing to do with the gate industry. Give me 1 second. Hey, what's up, guys?
Oh man, is he frozen on your end?
He is frozen. Oh
no.
Oh, we're gonna take you off.
I'm on Wi-Fi.
We're gonna take you off for a second, Brooks, and bring you back on. Okay, so
just so everybody knows, Brian knew he had to go live with me. He felt like he needed reinforcements. He immediately called Brooks, which is why we're late.
I know. And then you got two of us trying to send a link. Normally, Susan is handling the back end, everybody. So you've got me and Veronica back here doing it. Which is so Andrea says she's ready for the retreat.
Woo woo! Yes, we are so stoked about just getting to hang out and be with everybody. And of course, our cup gets filled just as much as we try to fill other women's in the industry. So the leadership team is super stoked with everything that we have in the works.
So how many people you got coming? I know there was some you have a room or two available, but not a lot, right? Room for maybe one. So
space is limited. We do have some openings still. The whole event size is 27 ladies.
Okay. Wow.
So it is really important. The class registration starts at $50. It really depends on your room type that you get to select on the registration. So again, go to FWA.com under events, the women's retreat. And then when you click on register now down towards the bottom, see if Brian can get it to work.
Oh, do you want me to scroll down? I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scroll down and click on register now. That'll actually take you to the list of different types of rooms available and what's included in that and the registration costs. So if you actually keep scrolling down for me, down here under what to expect, you're going to see the education that we're actually going to be providing. So you see in there gate operator layouts, visuals, social media content, 101, operations workflow. I mean, there's a lot of different topics that are on the agenda. They're all under that leadership, operation, professional skills education. And it's not just us, ladies, like everybody in the industry, it's not just us teaching. Some of the best education that I've ever received is I've been the one at the front of the class and I've learned more than the content I was trying to share. So we are super, super excited to announce that.
Yeah. So that's cool. I mean, I'm excited to see I know I'm not going, but
not that you're sad and that you have FOMO or anything, but you do.
but I think I have enough events that I go to where I can skip one. But I'm excited to get to see the videos and the images, and hopefully you guys get some good content to share with all of us while you're there, because I'm sure once everybody sees how in depth you guys go, it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's something the industry's never been done. And FWA as a whole, we ask ourselves, Brian, this question, how many times in 1 week? What are we not doing, or what's not already out there in the industry that needs to be done? Yeah. What resources what do we need, first of all, and then what do other contractors need? What do other people out there need? Or what do we wish we had when first getting into the industry, or or 2 years in or 3 years in or 5 years in or 10 years in.
Yeah.
It's a constant question we ask ourselves.
Yeah.
Which kind of brings us up to your big announcement.
Oh,
because
now I can talk.
Now you
I can talk about it now.
6. What is our theme this year that actually goes in for the retreat as well as for the fun show in October?
We looked at demo days, right? And what thing's great about FWA is, why we don't worry about anybody. Some people are always worried somebody's copying this or copying that. They did, you're doing this and you tried this, you launched this and somebody's copying it. Because if you are copying something that we did last year and you manage to get around to it this year, you're already behind because we're moving on to 2 or 3 other things. We've got, if you try to look at anything that FWA or me or you or anybody in the organization is doing right now, thinking by the time you figured out how to organize it and get behind and actually copy what we're doing, we're already on to the next thing. So that's why. And everything we're doing is because we want people to copy it. We want the whole industry doing what we're doing to connect with, build more family-friendly events. I mean, think about it. The Fence Show was groundbreaking. We helped open up the gates for small businesses and some exhibitors and stuff that said they've been trying to break into our industry for a long time. And we brought fence companies and small companies to come that have never been to a show before. And now the forgotten fence companies, the ones that it felt like nobody cared about before, and it was just numbers to get people to attendance. Now everybody's chasing them. Now open up your mail and there's a flyer for another expo or something going on, right? Because obviously we started doing that. Now we went full board on hands-on for the training for the gate operators and things like this as well. And next thing you know, throw a rock and there's somebody doing hands-on gate operator training now that's built not just where you're sitting in a classroom flipping through a book learning about the safety features that and things like this, and you still don't know how to hook the operator up. So it's no more the classes that it's going to be long gone where you spend thousands of dollars and you spend a week sitting in a classroom. Now it's hands-on and people are craving it. So people are doing that. That's great. Now we then after that we went and we did we did demo days. We launched the very first truly family-friendly event where, you had the kids, what was the stuff they were doing? We had bouncy rooms and slides and fishing and
trike racing and basketball and
and they were riding the train around. Truly family-friendly. We like to say it's family-friendly and just because you can bring your kid. Well, you can bring your kid to the police station with you, right? But it's not like it's still not family friendly, right? But nonetheless, you'll see now a rush in the industry to build truly family friendly events, and that's what we want. So we're not discouraged by it when they do it. So, but now we want to take everything to the next level. We want to go full throttle. So this is going to be the Fence Show and the Fence University full throttle. We're talking about everything that we've managed to do in the last 4 years, all wrapped up into one, our biggest event that we've ever done. We're talking about not just the exhibitors, not just more exhibitors you've ever seen at one of our shows. We're talking about more attendees, more new fence companies. We're talking about over 2,800 available seats across 54 classes with 80 instructors.
54 classes. Hold on. Who?
Right.
What?
Yeah. And we're talking about built for small businesses. And we're not talking about stuff that's only, where you send your people and they sit there for 8 hours again, and they walk away still not knowing how to do anything. We're talking about game-changing industry events. And this will set the pace for the rest of the industry when we're done. Your shows will never be the same across the country. And we want that because you know what? We're already thinking about what we're going to do after this, but this is going to be the biggest and the baddest show that we've ever seen. So we're super excited. And it just continues on. It's going on again, 2,850 seats. If all these seats were full, October 5th to the 9th. So it's a full week. Classes start Monday and Tuesday, right? While setup's being done in the expo hall, we've got a massive, if you remember our gate operator class we had last year, there was, 100 and some people in there. It was massive. And we couldn't even, with the 5-6 trainers we had, it was still rough. So now we're going to be cramming that room full of trainers so everybody gets a little bit better experience. 150 students, hopefully, in that thing at least, going on. And then we're going to have, what do we got going on Monday, Tuesday? What are the classes? I know you're and what we never had is you, Veronica. I know I'm talking a lot, but we never had you. You have completely taken everything we've done and managed to get it on paper and organize it and make sure these classes and booklets and stuff. So we're super excited. Tell us about Monday and Tuesday.
So I'll tell you, we really started out and went back to the basics of education. We went back to what have we seen repetitive in our experience and talking to other contractors, as far as like the foundation and the education that's needed. Let's talk about bridging the gap between your sales team and your installation team, because we have like 2 full days worth of training on 1-hour class increments that are broke down in bridging that gap and making that flow and that process run smooth. So we've got that team building, we've got, culture building. Another huge one that we're doing is knowing your customers. Like, what does that mean? Does that mean you need to go have dinner with Mrs. Jones? No, that's not what that means. But we actually get into how to identify different personalities. How do you approach upsells? How do you make sure that you are really legitimately listening to her and her concerns? Because if they're calling you, it's a security issue, right? We can all agree on that, whether if it's keeping something in or keeping something out, there's security. So this is something that you really need to focus on, and how to build that trust with your customers. We also get into over the week, how about commercial bidding? How about what do you need to know and what do you need to have before you even look at a commercial job to bid? Because there's a list of requirements.
So let's go over the passes though for a second. And then I want to pull up the actual, you put a lot of work into this, the classes coming up. So before I go to the classes, I want to let's pull up the passes we've got going on this year. So it's a little bit different, right?
Yes.
It's a little bit different than we've done in the past. Usually it's just a hall pass and a VIP pass. It's a little confusing.
Everybody's all over the place.
Yeah. So it's a full throttle, all access pass is what it is. And you get access to what? What do you get with that?
So you actually get access to all of the education sessions that are going to be listed. You are going to get access to the Full Throttle Food Lounge, which, we're going to have some lunch in there, have some snacks in there, have some drinks in there. I heard a rumor that there was like some Full Throttle beer kegs going to be floating around.
That's what I heard. Look for the Full Throttle Experience signs everywhere, because wherever you see a Full Throttle Experience sign, your badge gets you in with the full throttle access pass. So there's going to be some really cool stuff. We've got some amazing sponsors and stuff that are going to be coming in helping with some of that too. So wherever you see a full throttle experience sign, go in there and see what's going on, because there's going to be everything from beer, food, some giveaways, classes, education. I mean, it just goes on and on. So it's definitely worth checking out. But that doesn't mean that not everybody comes for that, right? Not everybody came.
That's very true.
For food, beer, and education, right? I don't know. Right. I don't know how all that combined, right? But
Did you learn best when you're eating and have a beer? I don't know. It's the industry.
Some came for the Expo Hall pass, right? So they want to come in and get that. So Expo Hall, which is cool. You're gonna be able to come in Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday and visit the Expo Hall. And then we've got some media passes as well. So if you are a media influencer or a media, then reach out to, I would reach out to support@fenceshow.com, or if you already know Susan, reach out to Susan@fenceshow.com and let her know you're interested in that, because that's going to get you basically all the perks of a full throttle pass, except you'll be able to come in a little bit earlier with exhibitors and get some videos and pictures if they want something photographed, and full access to take videos and images, which is really cool. But did you have any feedback on these things? I know you did a lot of work on this that you wanted to tell people.
I did, absolutely. So right now we are running a special on all of between the Expo Hall Access Pass only, as well as the Full Throttle Experience Pass. We are running sales right now. So I will tell you that if you get in there and you do just the Expo Hall only pass, there might be some discounts going on around here. There are some codes that are floating around.
Yep.
So if you keep an eye on our social media, you'll definitely be able to find those for the Expo Hall Pass. And then also, as far as Full Throttle All Access, there is a limited quantity of Full Throttle shirts that are actually going to be included in your pass if you register early. Those are also on sale right now, and the price on those will actually be going up.
Nice. So I'm excited. I mean, I know I've been excited watching all this stuff being created since even before demo days, and wasn't allowed to get out there and tell everybody. So full throttle, we're going, and that's what we're doing the show. It's going to be the most exciting. If you've been to any of our shows, it's already exciting. I mean, it's already exciting if you go to a fence show in Las Vegas, but we're going to take it to the next level. So if you were there in 23, 24, 25, and you thought that was fun, you thought that was educational, get ready for this, because
hold my beer, because I got something for you.
Yeah, you better bring a hat with those beer holders right here, because you're going to be too busy shaking hands, maybe using both. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know? So let's I'm going to have you go over some of the classes though. So and I'm just going to pull them up, and I know I didn't tell you I was going to pull these things up, but I think people need to see it. So
So we actually have not only 2 full days, there's certifications for the Monday, Tuesday class. It is a combined class, but you can attend just Monday or just Tuesday. So when you actually go to register, it'll kind of give you a breakdown of what's in each class. So you can get a certificate for just those items if you attend one day, or you can get the 2-day certificate to attend both. Now, not only that, but we also have what we call gate operator quick starts that are going to be available Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So, to go over photo-wise and workshops, what about hands-on? I can tell you, everybody that I have met in this industry is very hands-on people, right? They got to see it, touch it, feel it. They have to do it themselves. So we know that. So that's how we're going to teach. That's how we're going to do this. That's what the full throttle experience is about.
And I think what's really cool is that, it is basically a full throttle class that Monday, Tuesday. If you wanted to send someone, if you've been to any of our gate operator access control classes, and we're talking about, this is going to be a combined effort using obviously our normal Fence University staff with at least 2 or 3 smaller distributors coming in as well, all the way up to some larger distributors. So not only are you going to get a chance to learn, you're going to get a chance to connect with distributors and people that are going to be able to sell you the equipment, because that's a big deal. If you know anything about how we operate here at FWA, is we are really big on, hey, if you're going to come help us do the training, and what's the point of you coming and talking to all these people if you're not willing to sell to them? Because we understand both sides. We understand that it's a lot of work, and it's a lot for manufacturers and distributors and stuff to take time off work and come set these booths up, and it's a lot of money and time and commitment and stuff. But it's the same thing for the people attending. I mean, some of these fence companies have shut down for 3, 4, 5 days. So to come here, we need them to get something out of it, and that's relationships. That's be able to learn something in relationships. So you're going to be able to actually talk to the people that are going to sell you the equipment, and that's really unique, I think, about our, our classes.
So I have a question for you on that, because this really boils down to, as we dig into these education classes, you've obviously attended more expos than probably several of us combined over the years. When you sit in the past and you've sat down at an education room, what was your biggest pet peeve, or what was that moment, that you're just like, ugh?
I'm glad you asked.
Oh, we can make you big let me put the spotlight on you.
You know what my pet peeve is? I feel like, I think over the decades, or it turned into, hey, let's just get as many people in the seats as we can, right? And if you get 30, sometimes it's done by places where if you get 30 people in this classroom, you think that's great. And if you can sometimes it's almost like a complimentary class, right? But they don't realize it's not complimentary for that person that sent 2 of their employees that could have been working, making money to your course and sat through it. And you're thinking, well, if I get 30 of these people in this classroom, and 2 of them turn into either more business or more classes I can sell them, or more certificates I can sell them, and one of those people turns into somebody that can buy something, it was a success. And I look at it a little differently. If I held a class, or Fence University held a class, and I hate to say I know I say it a lot, but if Fence University holds a class, or FWA holds a class, and 28 people walked out and didn't get anything out of it, I don't look at it as a win, because only 2 or 3 people are going to continue on and get more classes, or got something out of it, or turned into a customer. I think that that's a failure on the side
1000%
of the people, either the association or the university or whoever that threw the class on. So I think that is one of my pet peeves. My biggest pet peeve is how we take for granted those people sitting in those seats that came all the way down there to take that class.
And the industry overall is full of very polite people. So even, the title of the class says something and they're gung-ho that they're going to learn about this. And then they sit down, it might, a sales pitch or not anything what the description was. I will tell you that I have left plenty of classes after it's over going, I just wasted an hour and now I'm 2 hours behind on the work I still need to do.
Yeah.
Because now I've doubled up. So that's really the approach that we took going into setting up this education is every single class is going to have a full curriculum with a workbook for your notes, for your details, as well as, the instructors to be able to hit on this really important information and knowledge that they have.
Yeah.
So let's talk about sales and marketing. So lead generations, how do you make sure that you've got good quality leads, that you're not out there wasting time or your sales team? We've got controlling the sales process. How many times, Brian, over the years, if you went out and talked to a customer to sell them a job, and then all of a sudden your whole process goes haywire?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, all the time. Yeah. And I think we're going to have different points of view too, because for some people, they would rather have everything be more automated, and that's fine, but that requires more leads. So now you need help on lead generation and less on closing the sale in the field, right? So I think that what's going to be unique about this is it truly does fit small businesses. We're not just, it's not just either, somebody trying to sell you something that's standing up here and trying to teach you to do it a certain way, saying this is the only way to do it, because two different companies need two different things. One needs better salespeople and one needs better order takers. So I think that we're going to be hitting that a lot harder than we've ever hit in the past, because it's going to be more structured, and it's going to be, it's not going to be just, hey, here's this class, we'd like you to teach it and teach whatever you want. It's literally built around small businesses. And at the same time, you're going to meet some great manufacturers, and you're going to meet some great consulting people, and you're going to meet some great distributors. So I think it's going to truly help that bond you get with the manufacturers and the suppliers and even the consultants in our industry, when you realize that they are here to help you. It's not just here to sell you something, because again, we're going to be hitting that up. Hey, if it's a consultant that's in here helping us teach some of these classes, it's not about getting 3 sales out of that 30 people in the class. It's about as many of those people leaving with something to take back. Because sometimes you're sending your employees down there and, you need them to come back with some knowledge. And, we're going to make sure that happens.
And how many times, Brian, have you walked into a class over the years, and you're like, oh, I really got a lot of information out of that. But it's a whole week before you get back to the office. And then all of a sudden you're like, I don't remember anything, because now I'm so overwhelmed and I'm so inundated. I'm so behind. I'm trying to recover from the week being gone physically and then mentally. So you're going through this. So we've really worked really, really hard that there's printed material. There are nuggets that you're going to take home regardless of what class you attend in the Full Throttle experience for education. When you walk in, you're going to have that paper and a pen and all the information right there. So you can jot those notes and keep that stuff. And then when you go back in, 2 weeks, when things kind of the dust settles and you're like, oh my gosh, I remember being in this class and they talked about X, Y, and Z. You grab that book, you open it up, and you've got all your notes right there and the full outline of the curriculum that actually was taught in the class. So
take it, you guys, take it, copy it, create your own classes. Everything we do, there's a reason that we don't copyright all of our materials when it comes to education and stuff, because we truly believe, right down to the gate safety standards at gatesafety.com, all of that, because you can't grow this industry for small businesses by making it so nobody else can teach and things like that. I mean, everything's going to be taught by people in our industry. Like I said, we're working on over 80 instructors.
So if you're interested in any of these, please reach out. You can reach out to us at support@fenshow.com. You can email me at veronica@lasvegasfence.com. You can get on our Fence Show website and submit a ticket through the chat that we get. Please, if you're interested, this also, I do want to have a disclaimer. This is not all the classes. No. This is not it, Brian. No. And we're just a couple of these through. We've got a whole thing on team building, that bridging the gap between sales and your operations. Not only that, but how about setting up a leadership team within your organization? And what about an action plan? And what about, SOPs? Brian will roll his eyes like Susan does every time I say SOP, which is standard operating procedures. How many times have you seen somebody's got an SOP? It sits in a binder on the back shelf. That's
Man.
it.
You
That's
say
where
SOP, I say SOB. I'm telling you, man.
So these are all things, and trying to break these down into these tracks or these categories was probably harder than putting together the classes.
I love that you said tracks, because Jared Twist, Jared Twist from Rants Fence and stuff.
Love Jared.
Love talking to him. And I remember stuff he said to me years ago, right? Because it's always just, I feel like everything he says is truly, he means it and it's from his heart. So I remember he talked about, he's like, man, you got to get these tracks in line. You got to get, you got to have tracks where, you got people coming in for sales, people coming in for gate operators, people coming, and you got to be able to get that out there so they know at, this on Tuesday at 10 a.m. you got to be here. At Wednesday from this time to this time you got to be here. This if you're trying to hit all the classes regarding sales or all the classes for team building. So I love that you said tracks, because there's going to be tracks on this, and that's where we're obviously this has all been around. That's why you see team building, you see sales, and then we're going to get into some of those. And it's going to be the easiest time you've ever had navigating education at any expo you've ever been to, and the energy is going to be through the roof on these classes. So we're excited about that. But team building was really cool. I know we've had a million conversations about team building, and this isn't where you just put someone on a chair and they fall backwards and hope somebody catches them. Is that what
but you first. Can we do that? You go first.
We've seen all those videos where the guy walks around, and that's why you don't trust anybody, right? No, we're not.
So true. But we could put you on that chair first.
Yeah. So I don't want to do that. But yeah, so these are going to be true team building experiences. And really, it was built around field and office, whether you want to call it the installers or the helpers or even, sometimes your sales field people, whatever you're going to call it, the field and the office. So how do you get those two to understand that it's all a team, and different ways and strategies to bring your team together using team building, and the office might be, it might be the guy that answers the phone or the girl that answers the phone. It might be your sales staff. It might be the owner of the company that can't communicate. Yes. I have a hard time. So, I'm going to be sitting in on some of these things. I'm still have a hard time dealing with a guy calling up saying his tummy hurts because he ate a bad burrito. How many bad burritos? Where do they get their Mexican food? I don't know. But stop eating there. It's like your eighth time you had a bad burrito. Stop. I eat burritos like 3 times a week. Where are you eating? Right. So I just have a hard time relating to it. So I needed help with, our staff sometimes. Okay, go see if he's okay. Cause I don't know. He's telling me his stomach hurts.
I don't want to talk to him. Right.
Yeah. I walk it off, man. Walk it off.
Rub some dirt in it.
You don't have no electrical tape to wrap around your stomach or something? I don't know. But yeah.
So it really is about bridging that gap. And we've talked about this on an experience standpoint in both of our careers of where that biggest gap tends to be. And this is what we see. And a lot of things that I've seen over the years is that the internal team, right? So your sales team, your administrative team, your owners, all of that, they're all in the office a lot together. And then there's the installation out in the field, and they don't really see all the before that happens in a project, nor what happens at the end after they're done with the installation. So we're working on team building and joining those gaps in that as well. Not just, hey, you have to get along with, Mrs. Jones, or you have to get along with Sarah because she's down the street or in the next office over. That's not the case. So we're actually providing legitimate education on actually how to bring your members together and open those lines of communication.
And this is tough because you guys in the office don't do nothing. So
no,
you know what I mean?
Ever.
It's like lunch and golf and things like this. It's like,
Starbucks.
YouTube videos and Facebook. And so now we got to somehow make it look like they're busy. And that's what we're going to do in this class, you guys. So if you're in the office and you want to convince the installers that you're doing something, this is the class. No, we're kidding. But yeah, everybody, we know how hard it is on both sides. And a lot of us have been on both. most business owners started off in the field and stuff. And maybe that's why we're not, we're not as critiquing the office staff and stuff like, because it's a different type of stress. It's a different type of pressure, and the field has its own stress and pressure, and the office has their own stress and pressure. So we're going to help bridge that. And I know you did a really good job. I happen to have seen a lot of the packets and everything that's going to be out for these classes. You've got, and you didn't just say, let's figure out how we can do team building exercises where we all stand around and do, pass a ball, or I don't even know what all those are.
Kumbaya or whatever.
Yeah. Singing songs and stuff, holding hands. It's, we're talking about project handoff. We're talking about, systems and accountability, and because it's more, team building isn't always just telling everybody how great they're doing. It's
no,
sometimes it comes with the harsh stuff and the accountability that people don't want, but in the end, you build a stronger team. So I'm super excited to see your final on this stuff, and I know you've been working hard on it, and everybody's going to get to see it.
There's a lot of it
this October. Yeah. So, but we've got commercial estimating now. Our commercial class was a big hit, right? Last year. Mm-hmm. It was one of the busiest classes we had. So we're taking that and we're super organizing it, and I think it's going to be twice the size. And you're going to see some of the same instructors plus some more that we're going to bring in, because we really did figure that out. So tell us a little bit about that though.
So we break it down from the foundation. I mean, if you're thinking about getting out into the commercial project world, which is a whole new world, I will tell you, it's not anything like the residential world. And we took it back to the very beginning. If this is something you're interested in, there is a list of things that you should have in place before you begin looking at projects. Yep. Everywhere from insurance to certain financials to, field requirements it's ungodly the amount of things that you should have in place. So to protect yourself, to protect your organization, that's a class. What should you know before you start bidding these projects and obligate? And then if you're awarded a project, then we start talking about contract terms that you should be aware of, how to properly go through that, make sure you're in compliance and you're not in breach before you've even signed it, just when you sign the contract. And then we get into the actual submitting numbers and takeoffs and plans and specs and lien waivers. And there's just so much that's back and forth of what you need to know. HR requirements for commercial estimating and bidding. When you get into a commercial project, there are more HR requirements and OSHA requirements and stuff that you should be aware of. Yeah. And then we break it down all the way to the end. At completion, what lien waivers are they going to ask you for? How do you make sure that you're still going to get paid? How do you know that you didn't lose your butt halfway through this project and now you're trying to survive? Or you have 15 unsigned change orders and you don't have a leg to stand on because you did the work. Yeah. You're never going to get paid for it.
Yeah. And speaking of breach of contract, have you been following that? You're like, what's he going to say after that? Right.
Yeah, great.
Right? Have you been following? I've been actually posting stuff about subcontracting on my personal page. So go to my page on Facebook if you're curious, or LinkedIn, or whichever one you're following me on. Not that I'm assuming everybody's following me, but if you're not, follow me on TikTok.
This is our page.
But but I've been doing some stuff on there. It's 10 steps to subcontracting, and that's just a teaser of what you're going to get in this class. It's going to be that kind of information, times 100. So definitely super excited about that. It's going to be fun. I know this is a mammoth project that we're taking on, and you're really organizing the education, and it's going to be something like we've never had. We've got digital displays everywhere. The show is going to be off the hook this year.
So we'll give them kind of a little sneak peek. Brian, do you have the Excel sheet open on your computer?
No.
I
don't.
It's a big old thing. So
I don't, and I have a feeling that if I start pulling stuff up, I'm going to be closing this out, trying to access that. It'll just be a disaster. Yeah.
There'll be way more of these, because we haven't even scratched really the surface of the full throttle experience on the education part of it. We have not scratched on the full throttle experience as a whole or general. We're just really wanting to bring this news out and bring it to Women of FWA pages first, that all these changes, why this is so important and what we've been up to, because I'm sure a lot of people are like, what are they doing this year? Like, what's going on? They're being kind of quiet after demo days happened. Everybody went in their little hidey holes and are hanging out. And so this is something we're bringing to you. Brand new energy, brand new everything, different passes. We want you guys to come hang out with us, come learn with us, come teach with us, come be a part of all of it. And for the women in the industry, do not forget to sign up for the Women of FWA retreat. We want to see everybody there. Make sure that you get your passes soon because they're going to fill up. They are limited. We do, everybody that has registered so far, I am so excited to be able to sit down and roundtable with them and troubleshoot with them and learn from them because it's such a wide variety of people from all different walks of life. And of course, JC Gurry, there's some good Mexican food and so
Right?
weird. I wonder where their office is located.
That's odd. Yeah.
So
Let's do a shout out for one of our sponsors, JC Gurry. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to thank you, Brian, for coming on and finally letting the cat out of the bag with the Women of FWA live. It was hard to kind of keep you wrangled, but full throttle is what it's about this year.
Let's go full throttle, everybody.
So if you guys think that this is a lot of content and a lot of stuff to go over, you haven't seen nothing yet. We're just getting started. So come along with us.
See you guys.
See ya.